Take a breath. You're here. This is the Her Perspective, a space for real conversation and becoming in real time. Welcome back to the Her Perspective podcast. If this is your first time here, I'm really glad you found your way into this space. This is a podcast for people who are learning, healing, growing, and becoming in real time, not after everything makes sense, but while you're still living in it. I'm your host, Victoria, and I'm really grateful to be starting a new season with you. The season is called Living in Real Time, and honestly, that's exactly what life has felt like. Not polished, not figured out, just happening while I'm still processing, still praying, still learning, still trying to understand myself in deeper ways. So these conversations aren't coming from a place of I've arrived. They're coming from the middle, from real life. And today feels like the right place to begin because it starts with the question I've been sitting with for a while now. Can I trust how I was made? So, wherever you are, driving, walking, sitting in your room, taking a break, just take a breath with me for a second because this one is personal. Lately, I've been asking God something that felt very honest and also very vulnerable. Why did you create me this way? Not in a frustrated way, not in an ungrateful way, just genuinely. Because I'm a compassionate person. I love deeply. I care a lot. I try to see the best in everybody. I give people the benefit of the doubt. I want to understand before I judge. And for most of my life, I thought those were, beautiful qualities to have until I started noticing the pattern. I noticed I've been taken advantage of more times than I can count. I stayed in situations longer than I should have. I over explained myself when I didn't need to. I made excuses for people who were very clear on showing me who they really were. And I loved deeply and I paid for it emotionally. And after a while, I just started asking myself, like, is there something wrong with me? Am I too nice? Am I too understanding? Do I care too much? Because it started to feel like your heart is the thing that keeps getting hurt. There were moments where my heart wasn't broken because I loved, it was broken because that love wasn't handled with care. And that's when, you really start to question everything. God, why would you make me like this in a world that doesn't always protect people who feel this deeply? And if I'm being honest, there were seasons where I wish I were different. I wish I was tougher, less emotional, less affected, less soft. I thought maybe if I didn't care so much, I wouldn't be disappointed so much. Maybe if I was harder, it wouldn't hurt as deeply. And without even realizing it, I started treating my softness like it was a problem. Like it was something I needed to manage, something I needed to tone down, something I needed to hide. But recently, something shifted. I started to realize the issue wasn't how I was created. The issue was that I wasn't protecting what God had gave me. I was offering depth to people who only knew how to operate on the surface. I was giving access to people who hadn't earned it. I was replacing my boundaries with understanding. And then that's when it clicked and it freed me. because I realized I'm not too much. I was just giving too much in places that couldn't hold me. Being compassionate doesn't mean I have to be careless with myself. Being loving doesn't mean I have to be available to everybody. Being understanding doesn't mean I have to ignore red flags. Kindness without discernment will drain you, not because there's something wrong with your kindness, but because your heart needs direction. I wasn't broken, I was unguarded. And that realization didn't make me feel ashamed. It just actually made me relieved because I believe God is intentional. So if I was made this way, loving, compassionate, emotionally aware, able to feel deeply, then it wasn't a mistake. The lessons wasn't to change my nature. The lessons was to learn how to steward it, how to have compassion and boundaries, how to love and still choose myself, how to be understanding and still walk away when something isn't healthy. Trusting how I was made doesn't mean accepting mistreatment. It means honoring my design and protecting my heart at the same time. And trust looks different for me now. It looks like pausing before I overgive, listening to my intuition instead of explaining it in a way. It looks like being honest about who actually has access to me. It looks like loving people without abandoning myself. I'm trying not to care less. I'm just learning how to care in a way that includes me, and that's growth. So, if you're listening to this, if you ever felt like your heart made your life harder, if you ever felt like you feel too deeply, if you've ever questioned whether something about you needed to be fixed, I want you to hear me clearly. There is nothing wrong with your depth. There is nothing wrong with your sensitivity. There is nothing wrong with your compassion. It just needs wisdom, boundaries, and the right environment to exist in. So before we go, I want to leave you with this. And you can say it out loud if you want, or you can just sit with it quietly. I trust how I was made. My compassion is not a weakness. My boundaries matter, and nothing about me is accidental. Thank you for being here. Thank you for coming back for a new season. And if this is your first time here, I really hope you stay. This season, we're choosing growth in real time. Not perfect, not finished, just honest. And as always, may your becoming stay honest, soft, and right on time for your heart and your life. Talk to you soon.